Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Welcome to Ages of Rock, episode 14. We're going to call this episode Rockpourri Volume 1.
Woohoo! Ooh, that smells great. Did you get a little whiff of that Rockpourri? Because it's coming at you this week.
It's frosting up.
We got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to start off with what's going on in the world of dead people in rock and roll. Dennis.
Dead people?
Dead, man.
Holy moly. Well, you know what?
See dead people?
I don't. Well, I have. Well, I've seen some dead people that's happened recently. But anyway, we've lost. We've lost David Bowie, Glenn Frey. My thought on the situation is that, unfortunately, in the next couple of years, you're going to see a generation of rockers that have become to that age, and it's either going to be the fact that they're going to either pass away or they're going to be to the point where they can't do anything anymore. I mean, you could be a singer that can't sing. One of our favorite bands, we have a singer that's getting to that point. Won't mention any names, but anyway.
Joe Elliott.
Yeah, there we go. But what I'm saying is that we've got a whole generation of rockers, and these guys are our legends. I mean, they're the people that we grew up with, and we've got a lot of people. There was a list I saw on the internet here recently of the 70s ages. There we go.
Totally random.
Oh yeah,
This
Tommy
is my
Thayer.
autographed Tommy Thayer poster.
I was going to say
Peter Criss, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Tommy Thayer.
now that was during what about the symphony?
Symphony.
I was going to say that was symphony.
I actually got this as a promo when I was running my Harris of the 80s internet radio station.
Awesome.
They gave me a bunch of stuff for giveaways, and I didn't give this away because Tommy was the only autograph I didn't have.
See, I had to kind of think of that. So when was Tommy with Peter? It's like it had to be symphony.
Okay, and now that I've sidetracked you, what were you talking about?
No, but what I was talking about is we had I'm glad. You know what? Alan moved. He actually did something. That's awesome. It's the potpourri. It's the smell. It's a live smell.
Rockpourri.
No, what we were talking about though was the fact of that. We've got a bunch of our legends are getting. There was a list the other day posted on the internet of the people who are in that mid-70s range, and I mean the list is just astronomical. And there was people in there that's not on the list that I'm like going, they're either that or even more. So we've got a lot of people that I'm afraid it's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years that either we're going to lose a bunch of people, and the fact that we're going to have people that are going to be basically retire or just can't do it anymore, and it's going to be really sad. I mean, and you got to think about who's going to take that place. I mean, you got to think about during the 70s, late 60s, early 70s, there was a huge group of those people. Now, when those guys are gone, do we have enough people through the 80s and the 90s that are going to, in the early 2000s, that's going to be that big of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Wang Chung does still exist, so there's a good chance that in the 80s they could make a huge comeback from
These
the 80s. These
guys had big hits, but Wang Chung is not on the list of my legends of rock.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. So
being without
Legends
hats,
of pop.
you know what I'm saying? Tears, Fears. What was her name? I don't know. It was Tear and Fear.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's what I'm saying is, we're not going to have our Robert Plants. We're not going to have our Paul Stanleys. We're not going to have our, all these people that we grew up with. They're getting to that age now. I mean, they're struggling. I don't know. It's like Plant. Plant keeps doing this. He keeps doing music, but he's doing music that he can do. He's not going to go out and do a Led Zeppelin reunion right now because why? He can't do it. And he's singing what he can, and that's good.
Dennis, would you go see Led Zeppelin with the original guys
And Jason Bonham.
Well, and Jason
Jason
Bonham. I
Bonham.
mean, obviously, but even if Robert Plant can't sing all the notes because it's Led Zeppelin, I would, because
Yes.
I've never
Well,
had. I would see. I would go. I've never seen him. I would.
No,
I
and
would go.
and I'm like you. I would too.
I mean,
And they're going to sing it in a lower key. They're going to do what they can. They're going to do that stuff. But the thing is, they're doing that now. In another 5 years, when they're already in their 70s, mid 70s, when they get to be 8, they're not going to be able to do that shit anymore.
yeah, it's not going to be long.
There's very few people anymore that have. I mean, Sammy Hagar. I mean, gotta love him. That dude can still sing his ass off, just like he did in his early days. And there's a few of those singers that can still do that. But Paul Stanley can't sing the songs like he did before. Robert Plant can't sing the songs like he did. Don Dokken. They can't sing those high. They can't sing those high notes.
Well, you mentioned Paul Stanley today at work. I listened to the Hot in the Shade tour off of YouTube, the Detroit show.
Oh yeah,
and I listened to that, and I could hear Paul's vocal issues as far back as that.
Right.
But
at that time,
that high pitched scream.
That's the thing, Alan. You're bringing it up too. The people like going, well, why don't they play a lot of stuff in the 80s? The stuff in the 80s, Paul was singing at a level so high at that point. And, he was late in his career as far as, a guy who started in the 70s, now you're into the 90s. His voice, he was peaking out so high at that point, there was no way he's ever going to be able to sing that high again. And that's why they're not doing those songs hardly anymore, because he can't hit that high notes. Geddy Lee with Rush is the same way. He's doing more of a yodel anymore just to get through that. No, he did. I mean, seriously, I love Geddy Lee and I love Rush, but when we seen him in the Time Machine tour, I mean, he was struggling. I mean, struggling hard. I mean, to get those notes.
But Paul is struggling with that on Strutter, on Deuce, on whatever, and that's why half the stuff that's happening anymore is he gets one song to every two of Gene's anymore.
They should fix that.
But you know what? I understand that. I get it, and I don't have a problem if they play Heaven's on Fire and they don't do the very beginning of that song, or if he even starts it, the crowd's going to finish it, because I've been to that show, I've seen it. That as soon as he starts it, he can shut up because everybody else is going to take care of it.
Well, and there again on a Kiss show, if you're going to do that, then Paul, don't do the pre-show acoustic show. Shut your mouth. Save your voice. And you know what? Eric's a hell of a singer. Let him sing some of Peter's songs. Gene, step up. Gene's voice is as good as it was back in 1970. I mean,
his voice is actually better.
Actually, it sounds stronger.
So you know what? Give Gene some more of those songs. Just do that. Let Paul sing the songs that he can sing, but don't overdo it. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish and what he's trying to do with all these, these pre-show things. They're getting a lot of money for it.
Well, it's the money. It has nothing to do with anything but the money. You can they can call it whatever they want to, and it's about the money. So, but you're right. We're going to be getting close here to where, more and more of the guys that we listen to are going to be dropping off, and that's
what I was getting back to. Like I say, getting back on subject for a potpourri or rockpourri kind of show is the fact of, and I'm not even saying that these people are going to be dying. It's like, 70 is not an old age. I'm only, I just turned 50, so 70 is not that old. Trust me. But these guys lived a lot harder than we did. Plus the fact of that, maybe the fact that they're not going to be passed away, but they just can't tour, and their voices won't hold up. Or if they're a guitar player that's, like Eddie Van Halen, say he gets it and ends up a situation with arthritic or, even a stroke, or whatever happens, it may stop them from playing or being able to do what they could do now. And I think we're going to see a lot of that coming up in the next few years.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's going to be sad for us. I mean, because our heroes are not going to be able to perform like they have been in the last few years. That's just my thought,
Now that you're speaking of Eddie Van Halen and we're doing Rockpourri, did you guys see last week where Sammy Hagar or Sammy Hagar's camp, whoever does the Twitter, tweeted Eddie, "Happy birthday, hope you're well." and it was like, "Thank you, I'm well, hope you're well," or something like that.
Right.
Boy,
Reunion. It's gonna be a reunion.
But between that and the Michael Anthony playing the bass next to his old road case, and
He
the Van Hagar,
that,
I know he did, but the Van Hagar fans, and I'm a Van Hagar fan, I'd like to see it happen. But,
Well, I that's the only time I've seen Van Halen is when it was Van Hagar, and it was horrible because of the liquor, because Eddie was drunk off his butt, and Sammy was trying to carry the show, and
was this on the 2004 reunion tour, or was this back in the day?
It wasn't 2004. I don't remember. I really don't remember. It was up here at Deer Creek or not Mesker.
I mean, Sammy, when they first got together, I mean, like say, whenever 5150 came out, and that first, when that first show came out, it was at at one of the Farm Aids where Sammy came out and they did Only One Way to Rock. Him and Eddie came out and played together guitar. That was the first time that they played together on stage, and that was that would have been, I don't know when it was,
like 1985 or something. 84.
No, it would have been 84 or something like that. It was after the 84 album, so it would have been 85. And then it was like, oh man, this could be cool and stuff. And that I wasn't against the fact, because I think I love Sammy, and I liked Van Halen, but Van Hagar, I just didn't get it. I don't know if it was the big amount of keyboards that they tried to, Eddie, threw in there at the very beginning. And then I think they just kind of lost. Like I said, that's when Eddie got kind of like real on the fringe, and those other albums were terrible. I know Balance was not good. Like I said, OU 812 was okay, but I mean, there was just, I don't know, this wasn't a lot of good music there. I didn't think for Sammy, who could write really good songs, and Eddie and them could write good songs also. I just think together they just couldn't write stuff together. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, that could be a couple of egos clashing.
Exactly.
A couple of
there was a lot of alcohol and whatever else involved in that too that kind of screwed that up.
Yep. All right, so I was going to talk a little bit about the summer's getting. We're not far from summer. I know here in Indiana, where we're at, it's been icing in Evansville and snowing and snowing up here in Columbus. So we're getting our winter on big time. So I don't think we're going to hit 20 this week, is what I've been told. So that's awesome. But so we can start looking forward to summer, because spring's coming. It's not that far away. And the festival time is right around the corner. So tickets are on sale for festivals all over the country. And I was kind of searching around for the show tonight, looking for what festivals are out there, where they're coming to, and that kind of stuff. So a couple of places to go. Just get some information. One site is the Loudwire. If you go to loudwire.com, you can scroll down there, and they've got a spot that says festivals. I think rock festivals. And then there's another website called musicfestivalwizard.com, and they've got festivals listed too there. So and it's some pretty cool stuff. I mean, I got to figure out how to get to Maryland, and I know that because there's the M3 festival.
Is that where that's at? It's in Maryland.
Yeah, it's in Columbia, Maryland.
It's been around.
I've been around for a while. April 29th through the April 30th. And here's some bands that are going to be there. Some you've probably heard of. Brittany Fox, Cinderella's Tom Kiefer, Nuff's Enough, Faster Pussycat, Firehouse, Kix, Lynch Mob, Night Ranger, Quiet Riot, Slaughter, Tesla, Y&T,
awesome.
Vince Neil.
I've heard of a couple of those.
That one up there though is more of a 80s rock thing in it.
It's totally geared toward that.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have like a huge name at the very end. It's all a bunch of those guys, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the one I want to go to. Actually, is
that one actually sounds more fun than the one I was planning to go to.
All right.
Yeah. The other one. The other ones. Most of the other ones I've seen. A lot of time what happens on these festivals, even the ones that happen in Europe and the United States. I mean, some bands becomes their summer tour. So, like you've got Megadeth, Disturbed, Five Finger Death Punch, Three Doors Down. Looking at the things they're on. I've
seen a lot of those flyers. Yeah. You see the same band, like Five Finger Death Punch. That's all they're doing this summer. Is these big festivals.
Rob Zombie's on like 5 or 6 of them.
I've seen that.
So there's a lot of them that are very, very much the same. 6 a.m. seems to be on every one of the ones I looked at too. So
he's not with Molly Cruz.
Well, no, but so what else is he going to be, right? But it's kind of interesting. There's not any really real close. There's one. The Rock on the Range is in Columbus, Ohio, which isn't too
Louisville. Louisville will have that one in the fall.
Yeah, that'll be in September.
Louder Than Life.
Louder Than Life. And I heard that's really good. I heard that you got to get the VIP to do real good. So the bathrooms are horrible unless you got the VIP.
I think that's pretty much the same for all of those festivals.
So you got to go like 2 miles to take a piss in these places. So
Rock on the Range is the week before Rocklahoma, and that's on Memorial Day weekend.
I've got a question about these things, and after looking at all these banners for these, you see like your Rob Zombie and your ZZ Tops and your bigger names, and then you got you got the next set of names that are your normal bands, and then you got your little names at the bottom and all this stuff like that. Okay, say a festival, how many bands? Bill's choking. Hold on. Way to use your mute button there, buddy.
I found my mute button and I was looking for it. I thought I was going to die.
I can see that look on your face. And for those of you who are listening on iTunes, Dennis did not find his mute button.
Yeah, I didn't, but Bill just about threw up a puppy there.
I did.
Okay, my question is, say like one of these banners, you see these, how many names you think's on that banner? There's probably one.
Oh, well, yeah, because I'm looking at the one for so what is this? This is Rock on the Range.
All right, so just for instance, real shits and giggles, give me a number real quick.
There's probably 40 bands on here.
Yeah.
Okay, 40 bands. How many people you think show up at this place? Just give me a guesstimate.
Oh, a couple. I mean, I would say 10,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10,000, and Al, you've been to these.
How much is the Rocklahoma one?
Okay, how much does a ticket cost for one of these?
Well, we always get the general admission ticket, and then we camp in the general admission campground. So the camping is usually, I think this year it's $95.
All right, so say $100.
It was $75 in the past. So say $100 for the camping, $100 for the ticket if you buy it by a certain date. After that, the price starts going up.
All right, so $100 per ticket per day. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's the general admission ticket's $100
say
for the whole
20,000 people. Okay, so 20,000 people. Or
I don't think you're getting 20,000 people.
You're going to get 10,000.
Okay, you can get 10,000 people. All right, help me do the math here real quick, because I'm freaking done.
Well, the tickets for the Rock on the Range now are $140.
Okay, so 10,000 people times 140 people. Okay, so that's $1.4 million. Okay, divided by 40 bands.
Well, no. That ain't gonna. That's not.
No, but I know
better than that.
See, that's where I'm getting to. Okay, say like Kiss was. Okay, say if Kiss was the Orlando show. Take that for instance.
Yeah, the Mona. Yeah, that's up too. Yeah.
Kiss isn't going down there for $35,000.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So say Kiss gets I know for a fact that they're probably going to get $500,000 at least for the Orlando show, if more.
Yeah, I would think so.
So these guys on the bottom,
good setup too.
Where I'm getting to is being in a band. I know how this works. These guys on the bottom, you think they're playing for free just for the fact of being with these bands and for the showcase?
I would say that the ones that you have to have a magnifying glass to read their name.
That's what I'm saying. Those guys
are the bands they're probably paying to play.
That's where I'm getting to. Because when you start divvying these up, say there's 10,000 people show up and it's $100 a ticket. So where I'm getting to, and then Kiss is your headliner. Kiss isn't going to show up for $10,000.
Right.
Kiss is going to get. I say they're going to get probably $750,000. That's my guess.
You also
they're not going down there for nothing.
They're not going down there for nothing. I mean,
you also have to figure the expenses that it costs to put that on with the advertising, the electricity.
That's what I'm saying, Al.
The fees for using the facility.
Exactly. I mean, these guys.
That's why a glass of beer there costs $14.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I'd be really interested in, the guests we've had on the show. I think it'd be cool to have somebody that produces one of these shows or puts one on the show to talk about.
I'd like to know the numbers of how.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to share the numbers, but it'd be cool to see, what do you try to reach for a profit margin? Is it 20% or 30% or 5%? Do you break even? Is it because I know that like the what festival was it last year? Monster Energy Drink, is that what it was? Rockstar Energy Drink Festival, one of those that had a bunch of the death metal bands, and I can't remember who it was. That thing fell apart because there was a bunch of egos that ended up going on in the between the bands and the money they were getting, and some bands just didn't show up for some shows. They were on the bill and didn't show up because they weren't getting paid. At least that's what I read. So, I'd be interested in hearing, how do you pick where you're going to have a show? How are you going to figure out, what bands you're going to get?
Right.
Is it touring season and everybody kind of puts their name out there and it's like, hey, we're going to be out there?
I've been kind of privy to, like with Toyota, with their, when they have we have a concert, every 2 years, and they basically get a menu, and it's basically this is who's on tour, and this is what they cost, and it's surprising. I've actually seen it. I've seen the numbers of what these bands cost, like what it costs to get, say, Styx down here or REO for a night for corporate gigs. I mean, I've seen what it costs. It's
you think they're gouging corporate people?
You can get REO for $20,000,
but still, that's a lot. That's
right.
You have to provide.
Oh, you got to provide everything.
Right, you have to provide everything.
Mellencamp was $100,000.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't pay $5 to go see him.
We got ripped off hard.
Actually, you couldn't.
Most of the bands
I wouldn't go for free. I just wouldn't go.
Most of the bands that I've seen on that list, though, were right in that, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000, $18,000 range for a night gig. And like I said, you're gonna pay for PA, for the stadium and all that stuff. It's just for them to show up.
Yeah, and I think that, the shows that we have shows here in Columbus they've changed it, but they had Rock the Park, and we had 38 special.
No more then, or
they've changed it. It was competing with another thing, and they've kind of combined it. Last year they had Charlie Daniels, and I just
didn't they have like REO a couple years?
They've had REO, they've had Foreigner, they had 38 Special. The 38 Special show was phenomenal because it was all the original guys. And it was the first show. My understanding from talking to some people that were there, and they could be wrong, that was the first show that they were all back together.
Right.
And it was a phenomenal show.
And they were you say it's at a park too?
Yeah, it's at a park. And it's not a big shindig, but
I miss about Mesker. Out there, those shows were so good out there in Mesker. I mean, they're never great big shows, but they were fun. They were outside, and that place up there at Whitewater Park in Indianapolis is a nice place to see gigs. We've seen a couple of concerts up there. That's nice, also.
Yeah,
but I guess those summer gigs are nice. I love those.
Yeah, I like being out there, sitting in just chilling in the evening and listening to some live music.
Drinking my $15 beer.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
That hurts.
It does. It's not good. But anyway, so that's what's that stuff's coming up. There's a ton of stuff. There's like I said, we were talking about the Moonstone Festival. That's coming up. That's a new thing. This is the first time they're having that. It's in Orlando.
With Kiss in it, right?
Yeah, it's who
else is with that anyway? Who's all on?
It's Def Leppard. Kiss and Def Leppard are the headliners. And there's, like it says, 100 other acts. Evanescence.
100 other people getting paid $5.
Yeah, from 100 other acts from bands to comedians. Evanescence, Queensryche, AWOL Nation, Sebastian Bach, Scott Stapp, Kansas, Steel Panther.
There you go.
Flaming Lips.
Kansas. See, I love Kansas.
Yeah, so it looks like that'd be a pretty good show, actually. But again,
when is that one in Orlando?
And it's right. That is, you just never know. There's
When is the
actually,
date on that though? The Orlando one.
it's April 30th, May 1st. There are in Florida, April 30th and May 1st. There's one in Fort Myers, Florida, and there's one in Orlando, and there's one in
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, all the same weekend.
Wow.
The one in Jacksonville and the one in Fort Myers are both sponsored by Rockstar Energy or Monster Energy, and they have the same bands. So they're just flipping. They're in
So
Jacksonville on Saturday.
How close is Fort Myers to Jacksonville then?
It's probably 6 hours.
Oh, so they're other sides of the state then. They're just kind of.
Yeah, so what they're doing is on Saturday, the Saturday guys are in
Gotcha.
Jacksonville, or Sunday and then Sunday they're in
That's pretty
Fort
smart
Myers.
though. That's really smart.
Well, but I don't know, why would you have that two shows like that in the same
You
state?
you doubled your crowd because people are going to drive 6 hours. You got a crowd here and you got a crowd here instead of trying to get everybody
Or
from
you
one
split the
side.
crowd in half. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's pretty smart actually because Florida's big enough. I mean, you're going to have
And in the middle of that, you have Orlando,
yeah.
which has got a different show with bands that are more,
Right.
I guess more mainstream rock than, the Rob Zombies and and some of those other guys. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I've never been to a festival like that. I'd like to go sometime.
I've never been to one either. I know Al's been to. You've been to Rocklahoma what, twice?
Correct.
And what was your take on it? You liked it?
Yeah.
Now, how do they do? I mean, they got multiple stages, I guess. So you got to pick which.
They have the main stage, and when there's a band playing on the main stage, they've got the side stage over there where they're setting up for the next band.
Okay.
And then when the main stage is done playing, the band on the side stage starts, and then they work on the main stage for the get ready. Basically they're bouncing back.
So they only have two stages there.
Yeah. Well, they actually have a third stage, which really isn't a stage. It's a small stage under a tent off to the side somewhere that those bands that are at the bottom that you have to read the magnifying glass. That's where those bands play.
Like my band would be
those
there.
are the bands that are playing looking for exposure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. So there's another one that's really good too, and we'll wrap this piece up because it's kind of we're kind of like beating a dead horse, but there's another one, and so Monster Energy must just be dumping their money into the rock world because this is another one, but it's called the Monster Energy Carolina Rebellion. And I think if I read this right, this is the first year of this show, and it's May 6th through the 8th, and it's in Charlotte. Headlining on Friday is the Scorpions.
Really?
Which would be cool.
That'd be good.
With ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner, Three Doors Down, and more. Five Finger Death Punch there.
Right.
Shinedown, Lamb of God's there. Alice Cooper's going to be there as well.
Ooh, that'd be good.
With Rob Zombie and Disturbed. So some of those bands are the same bands, and then they've got some other people mixed into that one. That's kind of a one-offer, which is kind of cool. And then they have another one that's kind of more of a what's the right word? Alternative kind of stuff with like Jane's Addiction and some of those guys that I don't really care for much. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. So if you get a chance, check it out. So, a couple websites, like I mentioned, loudwired.com. You can look for it there. And then also on what was that called? It was called Metal something or other. musicfestivalwizard.com. So check those out and get to a show. And we'd like to hear it. If you guys go to a show, we want to hear what show you went to. So we
far,
have tickets.
We've got tickets for Heart, Joan Jett, and Cheap Trick. And actually, I got tickets now for I'm going to go see Five Finger Death Punch, POD, and what's the other one? Damn it, Shinedown. I'm going to be seeing those guys.
That's the warm up for the other tours.
yeah.
Because they're all traveling together.
Yeah, it's all going to be the same.
So, I mean, there'll be more shows coming out. I mean, I don't know what else is coming out this summer. We're going to try to get some tickets to a couple other shows, but at least that's it. And then, trying to find some live music in a bar that might be some smaller.
Actually, and Bill, you went and seen one of our bands the other day with some new members.
Yeah, we went to see. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem to mention it. But we went to see Hairbangers Ball on Friday night with a couple of buddies, and For those of you that don't know, that's just a '80s tribute band. They play all '80s hair metal stuff typically, and I think they're a really good band. They play some great stuff to get the crowd going. They're really good at it. They had a brand new lead singer. They had a new guitar player. They had a new
girl singer.
They have a female singer as well. They had a new female as well that played, and they're really good. It's a fun time. We have a great time, and they get the crowd going. So,
and that's one thing that we try to promote most of anything is go out and support your local bands. I mean, go out and support local music, whatever you can do. I'm in one of those bands. Come see me.
If you weren't that far away, I'd come see you.
Sometimes if you go see them, they'll let you play in their band.
And then,
yeah, I saw pictures. Actually,
Alan's been up there. He posted some on her. Posted on her page, Alan.
Yeah,
there you go.
And
so,
got what new? What do you say?
New music. What do you get? Anybody got any new music they listen to?
I listened to the new Megadeth album, Dystopia, and I'm not a huge Megadeth fan. I kind of jumped on the bandwagon during the Rust in Peace era, stayed on it during the Symphony of Destruction era, and then jumped off. Right. But I've listened to Euthanasia, and gosh, I don't even know the names of all of the ones since then. But I did listen to Dystopia the other day. My friend Steve let me borrow it. And if you are a fan of the Rust in Peace era Megadeth, the Symphony for Destruction, or the Symphony of Destruction,
right.
I think you'll like that album, because that very much, as a matter of fact, one of the songs, and I can't remember the name of it, but I texted my friend while I was listening, and I'm like, this song is Symphony for Destruction, or Sweating Bullets, that's the one.
Right.
One of them songs was just dead up Sweating Bullets with different lyrics.
Running out of ideas, just kind of rehashing.
Well, it was the drums that was the same. It's the same drum pattern, I guess. But yeah, if you like Symphony, then you'll like Dystopia.
See, that's one thing I noticed about. There's a new song out by Anthrax. Got a new album. I don't know if the new album's out yet or not, or I know it's coming out soon. They had a new song out, and it's Anthrax. While their songs sound the same, they keep rehashing stuff. This new song is different. I mean,
and Dennis is frozen.
Dennis is frozen.
So let's talk about Spotify and the Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. Foo.
I think he might be gone.
He might have just roasted, man.
There he went, man.
He's out of here.
Anyway, so have you listened to any new music?
I have. We want to wait for him to come back?
Well, you may as well start talking about it now. No edits.
Okay, I got you. I'm sorry, I didn't understand the no edit part. Okay, so I've listened to Inglorious. We had a special guest on a month or so ago, Mitch Lafon. He talked about a couple bands. One of them was Inglorious. So I pre-ordered that album. So when you pre-ordered it off iTunes, then you got the first 4 songs off the album that day, and then you get the rest of it sometime in February. I don't know when. Hopefully the sooner the better. So I've been listening to that. It's good stuff. I really like it. It is definitely more like 80s rock stuff. Not glamish, but definitely more 80s rock. I really enjoy it. The other thing, I heard a new Three Doors Down song. I like Three Doors Down. I've always liked them. I think they're a really good band, and it's called In the Dark. I listened to parts of that the other day. Thought it was really good. Sounds like Three Doors Down. I mean, most bands, if you listen to most bands, you can pick their music out of a crowd. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, some band. Like, if you can't figure out an AC/DC song when the first drum hits, you're pretty much just stupid. So,
I mean, well, what about Who Made Who? It starts out with the bass.
Yeah, but that's the rarity. That's not the norm. I'm
just messing with you.
Yeah. Same thing with Van Halen. If you can't figure out a Van Halen song, you're just screwed. So, and then a couple of things that I kind of ran across too was one was Disturbed. They've got a version of the Sounds of Silence from Simon and Garfunkel that is wicked. It is just. I posted it on I posted a link to it on the Ages of Rock Facebook page Facebook page, and it's wicked. I mean, it's kind of dark, and they took a song that was, I don't know what the song was about, but it was Simon and Garfunkel, and it made me gag. But they turned it into just badass rock song. So if you get a chance to listen to that, you should do that. It's pretty good stuff. And then I'm not a big Five Finger Death Punch fan, but I was trolling around and found they did back in 2009. They did a rendition of Bad Company. Obviously by a Bad Company, and it's really good too. It's a more updated modern version that just rocks. So it was really good too. I liked it a lot. But that's hey, that's the new stuff I found. So I really liked it. So no matter what you say about the Foo Fighters, they're fine, and you can find them on Spotify. So, Dennis is back. Sorry.
All right. I don't know what the hell happened. It just all of a sudden it's fucking just.
Yeah, we went on without you.
Walked out. Anyway.
It's good.
So,
Dennis, you got any new music?
Have
you got any new music, Dennis?
Like I said, I just was talking about that Anthrax was really good, and then other than that, no, I haven't this week. No, I've been playing in my band.
Come on, man! You've got Spotify. You can listen to that for free.
I do. I listen to that shit all the time for free.
$10 a month. He's listening to it for $10 a month.
$9 and something a month. It's awesome.
Yeah, free for $9 a month.
And the Foo Fighters are on there.
One thing though, before we go, because I know we're going to wrap up, because it's like but
oh, so we are continuing.
Hey, did you guys see?
Yes, we're still recording.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, did you guys see that?
That important.
Alice Cooper is going to be on the Grammys.
Yes.
Oh, and I seen that.
He's
going
to be on with Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah,
Hollywood Vampires. That's going to be good.
That is the only reason that I'm recording
that. They're supposed to do some kind of tribute to Lemmy.
And then they're doing a new song.
Yeah,
they're doing 2 songs.
Yeah,
that'll be.
Did you see where they're going to have a bronze statue of Lemmy at the Rainbow? That's going to be erected. They've already talked about. I've seen it this week. They're going to make a bronze statue and put it at the Rainbow because that's where he hung out.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Like in the bar.
I think right outside or something.
They should put it right in his seat.
In his seat.
That's right in front of that video.
Playing that video game, drinking Jack, and smoking a cigarette.
And I bet you Jack Daniels will pay for it. You know how much money they make off that?
Oh no, shit! Did you see the tribute here recently with Dave Grohl in it? I'm going to mention that, but they were doing they were playing God damn it, what's the big Lemmy song? God damn it,
Ace of Spades.
Yeah, Ace of Spades, and had the guy from God damn it, what's his name?
That guy from that one band.
You know what I'm talking about? Dimebag's original
band, but I don't know what I'm talking about. So
Pantera.
Pantera, the original singer from Pantera. That what's his name?
Phil Anselmo.
Yeah, there you go. And he's doing our shit. Hey, did you see that?
Hey, did you see that guy in that band that was playing that day over there? And he was really good.
See, I needed Al. Al's like my interpreter. It's like, man, did you see that guy? Yeah, Phil.
I speak Dennis.
He knew what I was talking about. But anyway, I guess during this Lemmy tribute, and he was up there with Dave, I guess they were singing Ace of Spades, and he was up there and he started doing his white power stuff. And I guess he caught
I did
all kinds of shit about that.
Yeah.
Actually, he got what? They canceled his band, I guess. And
he quit. It was Drowning Pool?
No.
Oh, no. He's not doing anything. I think he's kind of
whatever band he was in, he told them to go ahead and go on.
Yeah, he told them go ahead and go because he was. No, but that Puddle of Mud guy. Do you see that where he was screaming about people stealing his house?
Yeah, somebody
right after the show up here. That was right after the show the next day up here in Greensburg.
Yeah, it's like going, you took my house.
Stole my house.
Man, I hope that dude seeks the help he needs because he obviously either has a substance abuse problem or he has some undiagnosed mental issues that need to be. So, I mean, I really would like to see that guy get himself together.
Oh, I would too.
Got some issues.
I hate to see that. I mean, it's funny in the fact that you see it, but then it's like, get that guy some help,
Yeah.
We seen a lot of people do that in the past. What's that look?
Bill was doing it, so I thought I would do it too.
Can I get it? Gotta do that.
Yeah, we're good.
Anyway.
All right. So, hey, is that our first episode of Rockpourri?
That was Rockpourri.
I think that was.
All you won.
That was
Rockpourri.
kind of cool, actually. We just
Well,
talked
you know
about
what?
some
Though,
stuff. It was nice just to chat.
We've had some great guests over the last few weeks, but when we do that, we can't really talk about this bullshit and stuff that happens. So things build up, and we go like, "Oh, damn it, I forgot about that. I forgot about this." So we got to have these every once in a while.
And apparently we cuss a lot too.
Yeah, we do.
When we're on our own, we don't cuss a lot whenever we have guests on because we're good little boys and girls. So don't forget, check us out because there's been Lee Westy, who's awesome. That was a great episode. There's been Joe Howard, which is a great episode, or JoJo Weekend. There's been Mitch LaFawn, was a great episode. Bill Starkey was on last week, which is a great episode. Working on some new stuff too. So be sure to check out old episodes, not just this one.
Yeah,
That's
please.
absolutely right. agesofrock.com. Get all your information there. Until
Exactly.
next week, peace out.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.